Morning, everyone. Welcome to the LIISMA Partners Meeting and Workshop. I'm Bill Jacobs, Program Manager for the Long Island Invasive Species Management Area. I'm joined today by Abby Marino, our Conservation Area Manager, Melody Cerniglia, our Early Detection and Rapid Response Manager, and Cassidy Robinson, our Education and Outreach Manager. As most of you know, our mission is to reduce the threat of invasive species and protect local ecosystems on Long Island and in parts of New York City. Here's our agenda for today. Starting with the welcome, we'll have a LIISMA update. We'll have 1 minute roundtable announcements. And if you have more to say, we can say that at the end of the meeting where we have other business. We have two presentations, one by Abby, one by Stefan. Yeah, Stefan is here. And then we'll take a break. And then we have one more presentation at noon by Catherine Jornovich and other business. But first, we'll start with an update from LIISMA. We're working on a new strategic plan. Our 5-year strategic plan expires this year. So we'll have a new plan hopefully ready by February or at the latest March 2025. That'll go till 2030. There's an opportunity for everyone to have input into invasive species work across Long Island for the next 5 years. We're going to use a modified group mapping concept where we're going to send an email to everyone on our contact list. And so we'll be asking the question of everybody to provide one specific invasive species priority for the next 5 years. And then the LIISMA team will collate those and rank them with your help. There'll be a second email that goes out where you guys can rank the different priorities. So there'll be 2 emails to start out. The first one will have this prompt to provide one specific invasive species priority. And then the second one will be to help us rank these priorities for the next 5 years. So that's how we'll get started. We've been working on a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And we'll also give you an opportunity to contribute some of those to it as well. And I would like to welcome Melody, our EDRR manager, to give us an update on early detection and rapid response.
Thanks, Bill. I'm Melody Cerniglia, LIISMA's Early Detection and Rapid Response Manager, and I'm going to give a brief update on our plans ahead for the upcoming field season. LIISMA's looking forward to another eventful and exciting year of invasive species research, surveying, planning, and management. To start, here's a few photos of only some of the types of activities that we take part in, from biodiversity sampling and Phragmites removal at coastal plain ponds, to teaching interns about grassland identification, educating volunteers on invasive species identification, and hitting the water in our kayaks for water body surveying. Invasive species management isn't just work for us, it's a passion. We love what we do and we have fun doing it. That being said, LIISMA has officially finished our field planning and tier assessments for the season. For EDRR especially, it's important to plan effectively as there are so many new species observations emerging every day. This year, I compiled an EDRR action plan inspired by our LIISMA annual action plan. This plan outlines the field season organized on a month by month based on what is emerging or most visible, the species and sites that we plan to visit, and the next steps required for each observation. Within our full list of tier assessments, I put together a tier 1 and 2 assessment list, as well as some tier 3s, assessing tiers based on the research grade information available, and by tier ranking definition standards. It's important to make sure to carefully count populations on our naturalist and IMAP invasives, being mindful not to count them twice, and to utilize the tier ranking definitions as a guide. For my own prioritizing purposes, I also take into account whether or not the species is already in a high abundance in neighboring counties, such as the 5 boroughs and the Lower Hudson Prism region, whether or not the species falls within our most biodiverse county, being Suffolk County, and the number of casual grade observations that are appearing as well. This helps to better understand and prioritize the invasiveness of these plants and keep them on or off our radar so that we're putting the most focus into the true tier 1 and 2 species and making sure to keep these species out of our conservation areas. When necessary, especially in the concern of conservation areas, we will prioritize tier 3 species as well, such as Ludwigia peploides, to keep it out of our high priority water bodies, such as the Carmen's River and other nearby priority areas. Here's just a few of the EDRR species that we plan to do terrestrial surveys for this year, ranging from Staten Island all the way to Montauk. A few of these we've already started getting out to survey for, and we're in the process of figuring out our next steps for managing these new invasions. We can't forget water body surveying, as aquatic invasive species are known to drive out native plants and wildlife, impact biodiversity, fundamentally disrupt aquatic ecosystems, alter habitats, and impede recreation, navigation, and fishing, resulting in huge economic impacts. Here are some of the emerging species we plan to keep our eyes on the water for this coming season. Please reach out to us with your reports if you see any of these species in any of Long Island's water bodies. Here we have some of the species on our planned management lists for this year, and this is only some of them. We have plans with our partners at PSCG Long Island to manage Ravenna grass on a PSCG right-of-way, plans to manage small carpet grass out of Reckler Equities property near Gabreski Airport and in Montauk County Park, in collaboration with our partners at Suffolk County Parks and the Third House Nature Center, and plans for continued management of invasive arum at the Wolf's Pond Bluebell in Staten Island. We also have continued Roxy lavender management planned in partnership with the town of East Hampton at 3 Mile Harbor, hardy kiwi management at Comset State Park in partnership with New York State Parks and the Comset Foundation, and giant reed management at Cammons Pond County Park in partnership with Nassau County Parks. Lastly, we have fuzzy deutzia management planned at the Muttontown Preserve in partnership with Nassau County Soil and Water Conservation District, and wild teasel management planned at Bethpage State Park in collaboration with New York State Parks horticultural staff. There are always new management projects emerging as well as we survey more sites and species and determine which are the best candidates for control based on population density and conservation target goals. And finally, we have our 2024 spotted lanternfly trapping season fully planned out with traps distributed in collaboration with New York State Agriculture and Markets. This year, we are deploying traps on the east end of Long Island to better understand and measure the distribution and abundance of SLF in this area, as it has been spreading eastward for some time and is new to this area. We are partnering with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the town of Southampton, and the Sisters of St. Joseph Retreat Center in Hampton Bays. We are very grateful to these partners for putting forth the effort to help us monitor and track the spread of spotted lanternfly in Long Island's most ecologically and agriculturally vulnerable areas. Now I'm going to pass the mic over to Abby Marino with more updates on our priority conservation areas.
Thank you, Melody. Yep. I'm Abby Marino, Conservation Area Manager. Some quick updates from me. So to continue what Melody was saying about water body surveying, we are continuing to survey some of the higher priority water bodies to get early detection of some species, such as Connecticut State Park, working on water chestnut removal there, Carmen's River surveying to see if there's any Ludwigia peploides that spread there. We hope not. And also analyzing some of the Persicaria species that live along there. We plan to go to Wildwood Lake to look for a yellow floating cart. There's, while that is a tier 4 species, a more widespread species, we don't know of too many occurrences in Suffolk County, so we want to check that out. And also some ponds in Sarnoff Preserve. Our continued management projects to protect coastal plain ponds include Phragmites management at Calverton Ponds, Sears Bellows County Park, a few ponds there, and also Long Pond. These are very small stands of Phragmites that would otherwise really take over the area. So we're protecting a lot of biodiversity by doing this, and I'll talk more about that in my presentation later. As Melody mentioned, working with Ludwigi at Artist Lake and also a small swallowwort population at Otis Pike State Forest. And lastly, some general surveying. We hope to visit some of our invasive species prevention zones and management complexes, such as David A. Sarnoff Preserve, Fire Island National Seashore, learning about some of the species they're dealing with there, Rocky Point, and also the dwarf pine plants, if we can get there. And thank you. With that, I'll pass it off to Cassidy.
Thanks, Abby. Can you guys hear me? I think so. So I'm going to talk about some of our recent education and outreach activities. So in March, we hosted our biennial symposium with LIIMPI titled Resilient Long Island. I'm sure many of you attended and even sponsored, but I'll show you some photos and go through highlights in case you missed it. Resilient Long Island kicked off with a poster social at the Scully Estate, co-sponsored by CTUC. Here you can see participants enjoying local food and drink, lining up for a poster slam, networking, reading scientific and professional posters, and enjoying a presentation by Indigenous artist Jeremy Dennis. Day 2 of the conference took place at Hofstra University and was sponsored by the Department of Geology and Sustainability. This was a full day of presentations on native plants, invasive species, restoration, and more. Keynote speaker Sinead Bullock gave a presentation on Indigenous wisdom, plant medicines, and beyond. Attendees also had the chance to network and interact with local organizations in an expo-style event on breaks. Oh, I think I skipped one. And day 3 featured interactive workshops on invasive species and native plant propagation right here at the Sisters of St. Joseph. The Sisters' own Amanda Furcall, along with GEI's Luke Gervasi, presented on invasive species, touring participants around the campus, showcasing invasive species and restoration projects along the way. And Alexis Doshas of the Native Plant Trust engaged participants at the LIIMPI greenhouse, illustrating seed scarification techniques and discussing seed ecology. Special thanks to all of our event sponsors. And if you want to learn more, the conference day recordings are available on our YouTube channel, and you can check out the Resilient Long Island recap article on our website. And stay tuned for details for the next symposium in 2026. Moving on to other recent education and outreach initiatives, LIISMA gives several presentations to engage professional audiences like many of you. For National Invasive Species Awareness Week at the Northeast Natural History Conference, Abby gave a presentation on invasive species and biodiversity conservation, engaging almost 300 participants. You'll be hearing a similar presentation today. And next month, we're looking forward to providing trainings for the North Shore Land Alliance and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service on invasive species identification and reporting methods. And as part of NISA, I'll be collaborating with other PRISMs to provide a free webinar on storytelling in the language of invasive species aimed at professionals like yourselves. Registration will open soon. Actually, it is open. If you want to scan that code, you can register. If you're looking to improve your invasive species communication skills. Spring's also a busy time for us engaging the public to increase invasive species awareness. I tabled at the Quag Wildlife Refuge Earth Day celebration and got the chance to talk to kids and families about how they can prevent the spread of invasive species. Melody and I also tabled at the Farmingdale plant sale this week, reaching shoppers just before they went on to buy some new plants. Melody also represented LIISMA at Huntington's Arbor Day celebration, where she got to teach kids about the importance of native plants and biodiversity while they planted over 800 native plant plugs together. Coming up, LIISMA will be engaging the public at the LIIMPI plant sale on May 18th and the 19th, so feel free to stop by to chat and pick up some native plants. And New York Invasive Species Awareness Week is coming up June 3rd to June 9th this year. NISA is a week in which conservation agencies like LIISMA and our partners host events to increase invasive species awareness across the state. And as a LIISMA partner, we encourage all of you to consider hosting an event for NISA. Past events have included water chestnut pulls, terrestrial invasive species removals, interactive workshops, plant walks, movie viewings, bioblitzes, and more. Feel free to get creative with what your NISA event could be or reach out to us for some ideas or assistance. And if you do plan to host an event, please be sure to email me, Cassidy@LIISMA.org, so I can put your event on the NISA calendar and the LIISMA page. And as part of NISA, LIISMA is hosting a BioBlitz from June 1st to 9th. And if you're not familiar, a BioBlitz is a community science effort to record as many species within a designated location and time period as possible by using iNaturalist. And to involve as many people within the LIISMA area as possible, we'd like our partners' help. And you can get involved by promoting the BioBlitz, encouraging your following to participate, and even hosting an in-person BioBlitz during NISA. We also want as many local experts on the project as possible, so please scan the top code now to join the project. That'll also be showed during the break, so you can do that a bit later too. And register for our kickoff webinar below. And this could prepare you to host your own event and find out what the BioBlitz entails and what species we may want you to highlight. And if you'd like to get involved, you can also email me. I can send over promotional materials and help you get started planning an event if that's of interest. All right.
Thanks, Cass. Thank you, Cass. Just go back one. So this is, again, just to repeat, it's June 1st through 9th. It's 2 weekends. So if you have iNaturalist on your phone, please register for the Long Island Invasive Species BioBlitz 2024. And then for those 2 weekends, everything you record, native species, invasive species, will go into this project. We have a couple of job announcements. We do post job announcements in our newsletter. So if you want to be on our email list, I think there's a sign-up sheet over there, or you can talk to one of us. But a couple of job announcements we just recently received. New York Natural Heritage Program is looking for some seasonal summer staff, and you can contact them at nynhp.org for more information. And there are 3 positions available at the Peconic Land Trust. 2 are seasonal and 1 is year-round. Contact Aaron at the Peconic Land Trust if you know of anybody who might be interested. Let's do roundtable announcements. We'll start in the room, I think. So we'll go around the room, and if you have any announcement related to invasive species, an event or something that you want to say, we have about a minute each because we have a lot of people to go through. And there's microphones. There's a microphone there, which Abby's going to move over here. There's 1 microphone in the back table in the center, and there's a microphone here. So if you want to move up when it's your turn to speak into the mic, the table mics. All right, who wants to go first? I'm leaning over this way. So any announcements having to do with invasive species? Just all right.
Nothing to add here.
Okay, let's go in the back. So just say your name and your organization if you have one.
Yeah, I'm Walt Burek with New York State Parks. The head environmental stewardship of Long Island. I've been in the job about 8 months now. I've been in 1 or 2 of these meetings back in the previous life when I worked with DEC. I worked with DEC fisheries for a number of years, and now back in Boston.
Thank you.
I mean, for New York State Parks, we're going to be hiring a shrimp team soon, early June, hopefully. There's a lot that's going to be going on out at Nappy and Hitter Hills with sort of pine beetle. A lot of disturbance, going to be a lot of these. That's kind of going to be our focus.
Thanks, Jerry. Anybody else?
My name is Desiree Animal. I'm the president of Cranberry Pool Park Community. I am a lay person. I'm not a professional. I've been attending these meetings. I went to the there's a land manager's guide. I prioritize the species according to and the areas of ecological significance and the tiers according to the guide. Then I presented some proposal to Suffolk County. They accepted that, and we got the permits to work in the parts of the park, and we started removing invasive species. I'm very interested in how to document the progress. Has been highly successful. We've been hand removing. We've also commissioned the Hudsonia to do a biodiversity for land use study. They found rare marsh or sedge in the wetland, regulated wetland area, an additional area that we got regulated from the map. And we also found a threat to it, which was golden loosestrife. So we're in the process of filing for permits through Suffolk County to the DEC. and to do a plan to remove the threats that threaten significant species. And I'm very thankful for these partner meetings, because it forces me, I'm very interested in how to document as a layperson through GIS where the species are and the progress, and how to share that with Suffolk County in a understandable way, and other partners, also the public. So
That's-
there needs to be a, thank you very much.
That's great. Can you say the name of the park again? Could you?
Country Pool Park at 101 Grounds Road in Suffolk County is the 18th district.
Okay, that's great. We can help if you're interested with some of the mapping. You can map with iNaturalist, and there's also an IMAP invasives program that are both free.
I started with that, but I was having difficulty navigating it. So any
Okay.
help would
All right,
be-
we'll talk more. All right, sounds good.
Sure. Amanda Fall with the Sisters of St. Joseph. I can't remember when we last had a meeting, so we did southern pine beetle work over the winter. We got 150 trees that we cut between infected and some buffer, which was the highest since our initial infection in our woodlands, which is disappointing, but we're working through that and making plans for next year. We did our first controlled burn of our meadow, which is really exciting. And for those of you here on site today, you can walk out and see that it's greened up already, really exciting. And we have 3 sections of meadow, so the plan for every year in a rotation. We're doing a couple woodland restoration projects, back by the farm. So those of you familiar with the Limpy Founders plot and the greenhouse was there. We did along the woodland in that area, we did packets for on the Atlantis and black locust over the winter. So you'll see how those are not leafing out now. Which is also exciting. We're in the process of doing more sort of can clearing work in there, various common invasive species. We also did some forestry mowing in another woodland section of about 3 acres, which was same kind of all the vines and shrubs, that invasive vine and shrubs that you expect, and planting in natives. And then one other sort of unrelated announcement, we're having a 5K walk tomorrow. So if any of you want to see the campus more and support one of those amazing programs the sisters run, the Learning Connection, show up here at 8:30 tomorrow.
That all sounds great, Amanda. Thank you. Anybody else in the room? All right, let's go to our remote participants. I'll try to call out some people. I see Tom Algeier here. Hey, Tom.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so real quick, the only announcements I really have is, well, unfortunate news. Well, we have had confirmed emergence of spotted lanternfly in New York County, which is Manhattan, Nassau, and Suffolk County. So most of LIISMA Prism. And then we have an unconfirmed report from an IMAP report in Westchester. So, the Metro New York City area is, has confirmed spotted lanternfly emergence. So the very teeny tick-sized nymphs are out. They're actually probably at their second instar stage at this point, so they might be a little bit more detectable and visible in the environment. But yeah, we have had emergence for this year, so the season has begun. Thank you all for the trapping efforts, and have a great season.
Thanks, Tom. Brooke, you have any announcements?
Hi, yes. For Fish and Wildlife, we have a lot of events upcoming for Long Island Invasive Species Awareness Week. New York Invasive Species Awareness Week. So we have a volunteer work day, tabling, guided nature walks, and a workshop coming up. So that information, I believe, should be on the NYSAW calendar at this point. We're also going to be uploading it to our Facebook page. But on Saturday, June 1st, we'll be having a volunteer work day for Mile a Minute at Seatuck National Wildlife Refuge. On June 5th, we're going to be doing tabling and a guided walk at Target Rock National Wildlife Refuge. The following day, June 6th, will be tabling and a guided walk at Wertheim. And on Friday, there will be tabling at Elizabeth Morton along with a guided walk. On Saturday, June 8th, there will be day-long events at Wertheim and at Morton. So we'll have tabling, a workshop, and guided nature walk at Wertheim. And at Morton, it will be more tabling and a guided walk. Also, we'll be updating to our Facebook page each day a new fact about invasive species. So our Facebook page is Long Island National Wildlife Refuges. If anyone has questions or would like to RSVP for volunteer work days, they can reach out to me. And I believe that's really all. We're just getting geared up to have our interns start later this month. And we'll be working on invasive species inventory throughout the season, along with management and partnering for the spotted lanternfly trapping at 3 of our refuges, as Melody mentioned.
Thank you, Brooke. Next up is Doug, and after Doug will be Steve Young.
Thanks, Bill. Good morning, everyone. This is Douglas Knauf with the New York Natural Heritage Program's IMAP Invasives team. Just one quick update from us that all of IMAP Invasives data collection tools are ready for the 2024 data collection season. So if anyone has any interest in learning more about any of the tools or has any questions before the field season, you can reach out to us at imapinvasives@dec.ny.gov. Thanks.
Thank you, Doug. Steve Young will be followed by Andy Sensak. Steve? All right, Steve. Andy?
Hi, Bill. I don't have
Andy.
any updates today.
Jennifer Dean. Hi, Jen.
Hi, Bill. Hi, everyone. I think Douglas captured it well. The IMAP team's ready for the lots of data collecting that will be going on, and just a reminder to also record your treatment and follow-up data as well this year. It's always good to know what management actions are going on and working. But yeah, thanks for having a virtual option. It's good to be able to participate from afar.
All right, thank you. Thank you for those announcements. Appreciate it. Let me move this window.